Yes, guys, welcome back to another stream. It's Sunday. We are reviewing all of the Saturday action, which saw 7 games, loads of goals, defeats for Man City and Arsenal. Why is that? Well, we're going to look at some data and some pass maps, average position maps, XG plots. This is the review show where we really do look at in granular detail all the main FPL talking points. So sure, we're going to spend way longer on Bournemouth, Man City, and Brighton, Liverpool than we probably will on Ipswich, Leicester, for example. So stay with us as we go through every game over the next 45 minutes to an hour. As always, we're going to involve the chat, but to everyone watching on catch up, hello to you as well. I do these streams every Sunday morning. It's honestly my favorite time of the week, good or bad outcomes. I think it's good to have that bleary-eyed good morning, as Mark in the chat says. So grab your coffee or your tea. Some of you, it will be late night in Australia or in the afternoon in Asia. But for many watching in Europe, it will be first thing in the morning. So good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining. Let me know what you think to my new shiny graphics, by the way. The Sunday debrief is represented on screen. Good morning to you guys. I tell you what, hit us up with where in the world you're watching from. Got the coffee, says Sally. Glad to hear that. Sammy is in the house as well. And honestly, the outcomes on Saturday are often like it can make or break your game week. It's a red arrow for me. It's a bad game week, but we have to remember this is a game high on variance, and over the course of a season, things should pretty much balance out. So I'm feeling pretty hard done by, but less about my team, I think, and more about the games individually. So just briefly, I captained Haaland. I triple captained Haaland last week. So painful on both those fronts. And I actually tweeted Haaland's triple captain, 2.3 XG, 6 points. Haaland Game Week 10 captain, 1.04 XG, 2 points. The worst thing about all of that for me is a load of those big chances were created by Phil Foden, who's also in my team. I'm stacked on Man City attack. Haaland captain, Foden, disappointing, but well played to everyone that went Mo Salah. And we're going to talk about the fixtures in more detail. So we're going to go through some all. I can see people watching from all. Yeah, huge variances, Sammy. This game really does test resilience. And do you know what? Sometimes I was annoyed yesterday at the outcome, and I was like, do you know what, Gianni? It's a game. Games have to be fun. And if you're losing sleep over a game, then change the way you're playing it. So move on. There's things way more important, right? Go enjoy your weekends. Enjoy the football for what it is. And that's football first, FPL second. Hey, Jenny from New Zealand. We've got Shiraz in Lebanon. Heather's got Semenyo first bench. Keep hitting us up, guys, with where in the world you're watching from. And if you fancy nice and early hitting that like button, that'd be amazing for the YouTube algorithm and all that jazz. Likewise, if you're new around here and nice and early, you want to hit that subscribe button, that'd be wicked. I'd love you to subscribe and support the channel that way if you fancy. So look, without further ado, let's have a look at some data, shall we? Because this is where it gets interesting. And I've reviewed all this data early this morning. Rowena's in the house. Good to see Rowena in. Haaland has to go, doesn't he? I don't think he does. Let's have a look at that. We're going to get to that in more detail. Down Under's watching from Melbourne. I don't think Haaland has to go at all. Top of the charts, though, for XG over performance. Scout have the graphic. The XG number is slightly lower than the FPL website, 0.88. Different XG models rate chances at different levels, and Scout has it at 0.88. Regardless, it was around 1. Beto with big XG came on the last 10, hit the bar. Looks more of a threat than Dominic Calvert-Lewin, doesn't he? We'll talk about that later. And then this is just full of players that missed big chances. Manoz in there for Palace, Sarr for Palace. Sarr's an interesting one because he's playing really well. He's getting the starts. And I'll show you his average position map as well. We've got people from all over the world, which is wicked. Newcastle, from Newcastle to Kenya. Sammy says 312 watching, only 43 likes. Come on, guys and girls. Thanks, Sammy. That'd be great, mate. If you can be our cheerleader this morning. So look, the over and under performers are interesting. I always look at the overperformers, and it's always like, yeah, you scored a good goal. You scored a goal with low XG. So Shalabar's goal, for example, from the corner, that's at half volley. It was a 0.06 chance. Gvardiol's header, 0.13 chance. Gakpo's was effectively a cross, wasn't it? 0.1. In terms of the shots and chances created, before we go into each and every game, let's have a look, shall we? Haaland again. top of the charts. Only 2 of his shots were on target. We did see him in the last minute hit the post and have a goal line clearance. Frustrating for owners. But look at Semenyo. Load sold Semenyo for Salah this week. He's still racking up the shots. He got his goal nice and early, but he missed a couple of chances too. Hudson-Odoi and Sarr, similar style players, also getting on the end of lots of shots. Like 4 shots for Hudson-Odoi and Sarr is also impressive. And Kluivert, who is probably on penalties still. If you've got to assume it doesn't go back to Evan Nilsson. Kluivert on penalties with 3 shots, doing really well as well. So that's a shot. And then in terms of chances created, Mateus Nunes is thriving on the left-hand side, top of the tree again. And Hudson-Odoi, we just saw him there for shots, but he's also there for chances created. But also Tsimikas, who's playing at left-back for Liverpool, and he's proper cheap. Now, I'm going to show you later in the show the Tsimikas average position. They're relying on him in a lot down the left. Tsimikas is a very interesting, legit FPL pick. Obviously, Trent is a lot more expensive, and Trent hasn't really impressed of late. Trent's in my team, but I look at Tsimikas and think you're 4.6 million. If we think you're going to start every Premier League game, that is a cheap route to the Liverpool back line. We've obviously seen the injury to Konate as well. Does that mean Gomez is an option, or does that mean Kwanza's an option? Well, time will tell. It was Gomez who came on for Kwanza yesterday. Rico Lewis has to go. I disagree with that as well, Todd. We're being a bit knee-jerky, guys. We're being a bit knee-jerky. Look, we're going to get to Man City game and Liverpool games in a sec, but we're going to start with the Arsenal game because many out there are on double Arsenal defence and it's been painful. So what does the XG plot tell us? Well, it was pretty much a level game. It was a very, very level game. It was a low chance creation game, like 1 XG pretty much for both teams. Arsenal's biggest chance coming at the end there. Isak took his goal very well, and we saw Gordon playing on the right. Now, Gordon playing on the right hasn't been as good as Gordon playing on the left, but we saw that cross on his right foot for the Isak header. Absolutely amazing. Is Isak back? Well, maybe he is. The problem with recruiting an Isak now, and loads will be looking to sell a Calvert-Lewin or a Solanke soon, is Isak's about to go on an okay fixture run, but 2 of his next 3 are away from home. Now, last season, if you remember, and this season, the theme has sort of continued. They are a better home team. So they play Forest away, which is a tough place to go, the City ground. But game week 12, once Solanke has played Ipswich in 11, a move from Solanke to Isak. Isak is 8.3. You've got to find the money. But Isak plays West Ham at home. Now, we just saw what Forest did to West Ham at home. Isak versus West Ham at home, game week 12, is a lovely entry point and one to certainly consider. He also, coming up, has home fixtures against Leicester, Villa, Liverpool. He's got some good ones. Like the Leicester game could be, again, another very high-ceiling game for Isak. And he's on pens. There's a lot to like. Like, he's flying at the minute. And don't worry about Callum Wilson when he comes back. Like, clearly Callum Wilson is nowhere near the first team. And we could even see them starting together at times. But yeah, Lewis Hall looks like he could be a buy as well. 4.3. He has been dropping price. I started the season with Lewis Hall. Let me show you the Arsenal pass map quickly. This is from Between the Posts. They actually tweeted yesterday something along the lines of style of play is Martinelli and Sackable. And it really is. Look at the reliance there on the wide men with no focal point. Havertz playing a bit deeper. It's not great for Arsenal, and it's lacking goal threat. And you can see there's no central striker here. Havertz sort of playing false 9 alongside Trossard. It's not really working out for him. Saka's still going to be a good pick, but it's not quite clicking at Arsenal at the minute, and they are conceding goals, but the XG is low for them. Clean sheets will come, and I do believe that with Arsenal. When we see the Newcastle average position, look, we flip between the two. We can see Arsenal higher up the pitch there. They did control a lot of the ball. Newcastle a lot lower down, low in possession. Lewis Hall, we can see that big bubble on the left-hand side. The bigger the bubble, the more activity they've had on the ball. So Lewis Hall received the ball a lot more than Livramento. Passed the ball a lot more than Livramento down that left-hand side. He does look good. And 4.3, they'll keep clean sheets, Newcastle. We know Eddie Howe is very good at keeping clean sheets. So one to monitor at 4.3 is probably my favourite cheap defender, Lewis Hall, in the game at the minute. And then Isak and Gordon is a proper good front two that. It's a proper good front two. Sure, Gordon play on the right, but he's fairly central. And he will also get chances. So Newcastle definitely one to have a look at. So that's Newcastle, Arsenal. Guys, give us your one sentence rundowns on each of these games. I'm going to try and be a little bit more structured, okay? So what I would like to do is I'd like to stick game by game. So those watching on catch up don't feel like it's all about the chat. So chat, I want all your comments and I'll show as many as I can, but this is going to be structured game by game. What I don't want to do is move on to Man City and then start talking about buying Lewis Hall. Okay. So give us your one sentence synopsis or on every single game. We'll thrash a few up and then we'll move on. Ashley's is I've got Havertz, end of story. Yeah. Sammy, Arsenal lackluster. Trossard, Martinelli, awful, says Mark. I mean, yeah, they weren't great. I was surprised Martinelli came off, though. Boring Arsenal, says Keith. It was boring Arsenal, to be fair. It really was. So we'll move on from Arsenal and move back onto our next game, which is a big one we all want to talk about. And that is the Julian said no creativity. So let's give us your one sentence now on Bournemouth versus Man City, guys. For the next 5 minutes, we'll be on Man City versus Bournemouth. And boy, does it feel a little bit unfortunate for those that went Haaland. Like, I tweeted the sort of violin emoji, like Crimea River Janny, but swings and roundabouts, it happens. But game week 9, if you triple captained him, game week 10, if you captained him, you can count yourself unlucky. I do think that. Haaland is still essential, says Matt. I wouldn't say essential. Haaland, Foden, flop. Yeah, that's probably does it. A load of the chances were assisted by Foden, by the way. That left post as well. Yeah, Foden going nowhere. I don't know, because De Bruyne was on the bench yesterday, wasn't he, Kev? Wasn't he, Mackham? And De Bruyne on the bench makes me think De Bruyne could be good for a start next week, which could affect Foden's start. I don't know. I think I'm selling Foden with a very, very heavy heart. I really don't want to have to. And he did look good. Free KDB, says Sally. Neil's in the chat. Good morning. Can't believe I chickened out on the Van der Ven to Einar for -12. Yes, Neil, but you did go through with the hit and sell Haaland for Salah, which, to be fair, I was screaming at you in WhatsApp, don't do it, Neil. And he did. He went through with it. So fair play. Neil's offloaded the XG monster Haaland, but he's traded him in for a more efficient Mo Salah and captained him. And that's a big, big swing for those that did that. Let us know in the chat if you also made that move. A lot went Cunha and Salah in. They were highly rewarded. Highly, highly rewarded. And when we see this football match, Bournemouth were the better team. Like, they're slightly up on the XG. It's very level. We see that big spike at the end is the Haaland chance, right? Cleared off the line. And then he hits the post. That's not two spikes for both those chances, because if the first one doesn't happen, the second one can't happen. You can only have one of those things, right? So they don't log both those chances in XG, which I think is absolutely the right thing to do. So Haaland off the line was probably, say, a 0.8 chance or 7 chance. And then when he hits the post, it's another 0.8 chance, but you can't give them both, because if the ball had gone in, you wouldn't get the second chance. Does that make sense? So this is really interesting, right? The shots, 12 to 19, fine. Okay. A few more shots for Man City, lower XG shots. What I really like about this graphic at the top from between the posts is it shows not only where the shots are taking place for each team, but it shows the set piece threat. Man City, 0.97 of their 2.2 was set pieces. Bournemouth, none of their XG was set pieces, right? In open play, Man City are struggling. Man City in open play, 1.3 XG. Probably not going to beat Bournemouth with 1.3 XG, are you? Certainly when you're away from home. You've got to do better in open play, Man City. It's a lot of neat tiki-taka. It's a lot of low shots from distance, those small circles around the City area. But it's not enough big chances. And until the end, not enough big chances. We saw a spike. If you don't get that chance for Haaland at the end, then, it looks like Bournemouth have been fairly dominant. In the end, it looks more level pegging. But Bournemouth absolutely deserved the win. So fair play. KDB makes City open play double. It does. And to be fair, their set piece threat with City will be even better when KDB's back in the mix. Gvardiol will outscore Haaland between now and Christmas. Yeah, maybe. Brighton will beat City next week. That is going to be a cracker. It's also Brighton at home. We just saw Brighton impress at Anfield. Wait till Brighton are at home against Man City. Honestly, if you're Man City, you're going to go into that fixture feeling a little bit vulnerable. Man City, of course, unlike Brighton, have a Champions League game. They play Sporting away. And you know who's the manager of Sporting? Who Sporting aren't allowing to leave because they need him in the job for the Man City game. And that's the Man United manager. Amorim will be taking charge of Sporting on Tuesday night against Man City. Boy, if they lose that one, they are really you could go out of form for a heavy section. And then on the Saturday, it's a quick turnaround, Champions League, and then a Saturday 5:30 game, the late game on a Saturday. It's Brighton Man City. And I tell you what, guys, don't feel overly confident about Captain Erling Haaland. We'll talk more about my team on Monday's video. But it's a very, very interesting narrative they're building at Man City, especially given the fact they play the United new manager on Tuesday night against, by the way, a team, Sporting Lisbon, who function way better than Man United. Like, they've got a real chance of winning that football match. They've been impressive. Victor Gyökeres is scoring all sorts of goals for fun. I think he scored 4 the other day. Sporting will smoke City. Yeah, do you know what? I'd say they're probably favourites. In my head, the bookies won't have them as favourites. I genuinely think Sporting could win that football match the way Man City are playing. And the home advantage for Champions League is often very big. Guys, we're going to carry on and tell you more in terms of Man City pass maps and all that jazz. Before we do, because I've just spoken about Champions League, if you're not already, I've just got to check this works. You guys will know and be very familiar with Sleeper by now. I've got a Pick'em League where you predict the results and we give away all sorts of prizes. The Champions League Pick'em for Sleeper, which isn't exclusively my league, by the way, it's an open one. Last Champions League round, they gave away £5,000 worth of prizes, 5,000 English pounds worth of prizes, loads of PS5s, right? Guys, you've got a good chance of winning a PS5 if you're accurate with your predictions. If you think Sporting will beat City, go for it. Have that guess. To join the Champions League Pick'em, scan the QR code on screen, which I've not checked works. So, guys, let me know if you have scanned it and let me know if it works. I'm going to just turn the brightness up on my camera so I can do this live on air and see if it actually works. It should do, and it will take you straight through to the Champions League Pick'em. If not, there is a link in the description, right at the top of the description, to play Champions League Fantasy. So, guys, get playing. It does look like that works, I think. So let me know, guys. But yeah, up to £5,000 worth of prizes each round. Get predicting. It's loads of fun. You'll love Sleeper. Honestly, if you're playing Sleeper in the chat, let us know how you're getting on and if you're enjoying it. Kirker is basically a winger. I've got an average position map to show you on Kirkers. Yeah. First, let's talk Man City average position, though. Mateus Nunes is impressing on the left. I'll give him that. But look at Gvardiol. Gvardiol as advanced as Erling Haaland yesterday, as advanced as Gundogan, more advanced than Kovacic, as advanced as Bernardo Silva. Guys, I'm gutted I didn't go there. I feel like he might be a little bit late to the Gvardiol party, although he does continue to score. He has 3 goals this season. He's about to go on a tough run of fixtures for clean sheets. You've got to think Brighton, Spurs and Liverpool, the next 3. It's unlikely City keep a clean, isn't it? I don't know if Guardiola was necessarily a buy, but he's so good. I guess he's a buy anytime because of his goal threat. We're seeing all sorts of goals. Usually we're seeing great shots from outside the box and curlers in the top bin. Yesterday it was an amazing header. It was an amazing header. He gets up so high. Proper goal threat, Guardiola. And one to consider. And the average position map's really interesting because the open play threat is clearly there. Not much else more to say. I think Rico Lewis was missed. Kyle Walker doesn't offer the same stuff on the ball. Like, if that's Kyle Walker, the bubble's way bigger and he's more inverted. Simple as. Great Barnett G. Thanks. Yeah, my early morning hair. Salah ticking along nicely. Yeah, we'll get to Liverpool next. Guys, thank you, by the way, for tuning in this Sunday morning. If you're enjoying the show, then let me know in the comments if this time slot and all that jazz suits you. Someone mentioned Kirkes, who I remember buying last week, I think on a double game week. Sorry, last season. And he's an interesting player because he's highly rated at Bournemouth. He's also dropped in price. He's 4.4. He can play centre-back. He can play left-back. He has started every game this season. This isn't a rotation risk in the Bournemouth defence. He's 0.5% owned. And he gets forward. Yesterday, he clocked an expected assists of 0.48. Very few fullback will have done that yesterday. 0.48. Now, sure, there's no clean sheet. Will clean sheets come? I think they probably will. I think Iraola's very good. Brentford away is a tough one next. Brighton at home, Wolves away. Spurs, Ipswich, West Ham, Man United, Palace, Fulham, Everton. It's not a bad run. Like if we go all the way up to the new year, to early January, it's a good stretch. The only big team, like sort of top 6 team now play Spurs till January the 4th when they play Chelsea. Sorry, 14th when they play Chelsea. It's a good run for Bournemouth. And what we're seeing a lot is some gems at 4.3 and 4.4. Like you don't have to spend 4.5 now to get a good defender. You can get a Lewis Hall of Newcastle, 4.3, a Kirkes at 4.4. There's good, legit options because of price drops. Interesting. What do we make then? Bournemouth, City. I think we've kind of spoken enough about it. It was unfortunate if you went Haaland, but City are not clicking. And what they're really missing is De Bruyne. That's key. And sure, Rodri. De Bruyne might start next week. I reckon De Bruyne gets 30 minutes in the Champions League and then maybe 60 against Brighton. And that's why I think Foden's risky. I won't be deciding what I do with on Foden until I see Champions League minutes. But De Bruyne was on the bench yesterday. He was an unused sub. We saw Doku. He featured. He got 5 minutes at the end. Lively, as always. So there we go. There we go. We'll move on from Man City, guys. And remember, when we on each game, we'll spend a good 5 minutes on each game. Kirkes is definitely on the radar of Liverpool. We have seen that spoken about. Dean Jones, I think, has even written about that for Gimme Sport. Dean, who I do Chasing Green Arrows with. If I hadn't taken out Haaland for Cunha, I definitely would have put the armband on him. Yeah, one of the reasons I wanted to get rid. Fair point, Matthew. Fair point. Love the early time slot. Works well in New Zealand. I'm glad to hear that. Do you know what? Foden to Bruno is not a bad shout. That's one I've looked at. Genuinely looked at. Cunha captain next week. Wow. Hi from Perth, Australia. Love that, Margaret. Thank you for watching. And hello to all my Aussies and to everyone all over the world. It's good to see people watching in Africa, Asia, Australasia, but also a few in Europe. I don't think there's many in the Americas at this time slot. I think they all might be in bed. And let us know if you are watching from the US or Mexico, Canada, South America. Nottingham Forest. We're doing. Oh, interesting. Gianni's running order. I've not gone straight to Liverpool. I'm clearly putting off Mo Salah. We'll go to Mo Salah and Liverpool next. FPL Chai's in the house. Good morning, mate. Hope you're good. Chai, you've just missed me reviewing Man City. Probably a good thing. I'm in pain. It's not just the Haaland blanks for me. It's the fact that it's Foden. Who bloody owns Foden and Haaland and captains Haaland, triple captain, then captain? No one. I do. Didn't bloody work, did it? All those big chances Haaland's missing, they're all Foden assists, man. It's killing me. But yeah, good morning, Chai. I hope you're good, man. Chai and Neil in the chat, by the way. Neil is in China, Neil Robertson. He's had a all right start to his FPL week. And me, Chai, and Neil will be doing a stream at some point soon on this channel, which will be loads of fun. Rowena says, coys. Rowena is in the WhatsApp now, Chai, which you're not that active in anymore. But Chai, you'll be pleased to know we got a lot of Spurs fans in there now. Rowena is leading that Spurs chat in the WhatsApp. Forest were impressive, man. Look at this. Look at the XG. 1.86 versus 0.11. West Ham are done. Get your sentences in, summarising the game. But Nottingham Forest are good. And do you know what? In a very, very cloudy, miserable season for me, the one good pick I've had from Game Week 6 wildcard was Matt Sells. Matt Sells has been awesome. Not because he's a great goalkeeper, just because covering the Nottingham Forest defence seems oh, I nearly swore. Seems key. It seems so obvious. Like, honestly, expected goals conceded, they're right up there in the top 3, Nottingham Forest. Nuno teams keep clean sheets. When you look at clean sheets, historically in FPL, and I've played FPL for 20 years, right? Nearly. I look at managers for the bottom teams or the mid teams. I go, what managers keep clean sheets? And I remember years gone by, it was like Tony Pulis. Always cover a Tony Pulis defender at Stoke. Sam Allardyce. Have a Sam Allardyce defender because they'll keep clean sheets. Sean Dyche, like if you think of his Burnley days, cheap defenders from mid to lower table teams that keep clean sheets. And this season, we said it, Nottingham Forest under Nuno will keep clean sheets. But very few picked a Forest defender, and I'm not sure why. If you've got an Aina or a Murillo or a Moreno got a couple of assists yesterday. They're all good shouts. And obviously, Matt Sells, I think, is the best budget goalkeeper. Forest are dark horses this season. Nuno's doing a great job. Yeah, absolutely dark horses. I mean, okay. I've mixed around. So I've gone from Forest there. Okay, let me get the... There we go. Here's the Forest heat map, average position map. Alex Marino on the left, Aina on the right. Yeah, Milenkovic and Murillo, that's a proper back four you just know is going to start every week, unless there's injuries. So there's no rotation there now. Interesting to see, Ward-Prowse isn't starting. And the Ward-Prowse delivery is so good. It makes them even more of a threat at set pieces. Look at the set piece, 0.92. Half their XG is coming from set pieces. And you got to think, like, when Ward-Prowse is in the team, the delivery is going to be spot on, but also centre-backs like Milenkovic, they're going to get on the end of a lot of headers. Chris Wood, it's great for him. 19 shots to West Ham's 4 is absolutely brutal. Well played again, Nottingham Forest. The gap between Liverpool and Arsenal is now so big. If you can fit Forest in there, morning G. Sean, thank you so much for the super chat, mate. The gap between Liverpool, yeah. Forest defence, honestly, I don't know if I'd be buying a Forest midfielder. Hudson-Odoi is good. Elliot Anderson, when he comes on, is always great. The Wood form probably can't continue, but you're a brave manager to sell him. I don't know if you need to necessarily buy him, but we say that every week. And look, he just does it. But the Forest defence, take your pick. There's not much split in them. It's easy to see fullbacks getting attacking returns and go, I'm going to pick them. But the fullbacks at Forest don't usually get attacking returns. Like, Aina and Moreno won't get many assists and goals because they don't actually get that high. It's not like fullbacks of Nuno's Wolves. Do you remember at Wolves when he had Doherty and can't remember who else it was on the left? Can't remember who is fullbacks at Wolves. Nuno's. Anyway, played a back five, played back three, and Doherty was like a second forward. It was amazing. He was FPL gold. Nuno at Forest isn't playing the back five. He's playing a back four, and it's working for him. His width, actually, and his threat down the wings comes from Elanga and Hudson-Odoi, rather than it coming from the wing backs. And even at Spurs, I remember him playing often a back five. Like, I'm surprised he came into Forest and went, I'm going to go back four. But he looked at the personnel he's got, and I think good managers have to do that, not completely set in his ways. And fair play, it's working for them. And it works for Chris Wood, having players like Hudson-Odoi and Elanga, who are old school. They're wide men. They want to get to the byline and cross. Well, that's brilliant for Chris Wood, isn't it? Thank you so much for the super chats coming in. I didn't expect that. That's a really nice gesture from Fadiz as well. Every week, I don't buy Wood because I missed the boat. It's a fair point. It's very easy to say that. He continues to impress. What we need to look at is players' form and not sleep on them, i.e. Chris Wood. You're right. But we also need to judge fixtures and other players in the price band. So Cunha, for example, has been the popular choice, and I understand why. He's got better fixtures. He also looked really good on Saturday night, Cunha. Newcastle at home is up next for Chris Wood. Against his old club. He then plays Arsenal away. Yep. Hard one. But then it's Ipswich at home before Man City away. It's a mixed bag. It's either a really good fixture, a really bad fixture. I tell you what, Ipswich at home game week 13 for Chris Wood. Without looking, how many goals, just put a number in the chat, how many goals has Chris Wood had this season? I'll give you a clue. He's had no assists. How many goals has he had? How many goals has Chris Wood had this season? And then we'll move on, guys, away from Forest West Ham. How many goals has Chris Wood had? Get your guesses in the chat. Just hit me with a number without looking. 6, 8, 8, 6, 7, 8, 8. Gooch says 8, 7, 9. Okay, wow, you guys are good. I'd have guessed 7. There's a lot that have got that right. Keith 11, though, not that many. He's had a ton of goals. Let me just... Okay, so Erling Haaland has had 11. I think he's clear top of the charts. But don't forget, Erling Haaland had 2 hat-tricks in game weeks 2 and 3, and then a brace in game week 4. Erling Haaland was on 6, 7, 8, 9 goals in the first 4 game weeks, and then he's only had 2 in like 6. Chris Wood's had 8 goals. Fair play. Well done to all those that got that right. We're going to go back to Liverpool. Liverpool-Brighton. Yeah, Liverpool-Brighton. So let's start with the XG plot. As the game goes on, you start the game and go, where are Liverpool? Where are Liverpool? They're not playing well. Brighton are dominant. and you go in at half time and you've got an XG of under 1, and you're like, oh, we're playing at Anfield against Brighton. This wasn't the narrative. This wasn't the narrative, but this was a story of two halves. And this is what the XG plots are really good at showing us, where those chances come in a football match. And Liverpool coming into their own in the second half, which, to be fair, if you remember the Arsenal game, we saw Mo Salah's late goal. Liverpool end games very well. Historically, I think Mo Salah's always ended games well. Like Mo Salah's that sort of FPL asset. If at half time or even an hour in, you're blanking and you've got the armband on him, as we saw yesterday, don't give up hope, because Salah scores a lot of late goals. Brighton didn't do much second half. Was that a case of we're winning at Anfield, or we're going to get something from Anfield? Maybe. And you sort of shut up shop. Or was it just the fact that Liverpool blew him away? It's hard to judge. Salah was missing for most, but still bangs. And FPL Mackim, you've nailed that. Julian exploded in the second half. Yeah. Genuinely, how many times do we say Mo Salah was anonymous, or Mo Salah didn't do much, but he's hauled? His routes to points, he finds ways of just getting FPL points. And he is the FPL GOAT for a reason. That's why he's a must. Yeah, I mean, I'm going without him. I've made my bed. Just like those that have gone Salah and they're going without Haaland, I've probably made my bed. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I don't know. I'll judge it in the week. I'm not ruling out going Mo Salah. I do own Trent. He could be a cash cow. So glad I've held Salah. Yeah, well played, Sammy. Great. He's a fox on the edge of the box who plays wide. Yeah. And again, like if we look at the average position map for Liverpool, which I have got somewhere, he's a lone wolf. Salah doesn't have to defend. Salah is always in this position. A lot came down the left-hand side again yesterday. We're not seeing Trent dictate games from right back, as he has done. Looked like it sounds weird to say a player dictating a game from right back, but Trent has the ability to do that. We just don't see it. And why don't we see that? A lot goes down the left. Like we've seen it with Robbo, now we're seeing it with Tsimikas. By the way, Tsimikas looks really good, and he's 4.6, I think. A lot of passes there between Van Dijk and Tsimikas. Maybe because Van Dijk plays on the left, you're going to get more passes out that way. But yeah, Trent's not been great. He's not been overly advanced. At some point, you've got to go, he's going to start banging because clean sheets are due as well. Trent is the biggest flop. He has been flopping, but he started the season well. And remember, guys, we are still so early in FPL. If you're having a bad start to the season, don't be too disheartened. There is still so much more to play for. And that Christmas period, I think in December, we got 6 or 7 game weeks alone. Can't wait for December, to be fair. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, I would love you to do 2 things. You can hit the like button, but I would love you to subscribe this morning. I've got nearly 900 of you watching, which is amazing. Loads of you out there will be subscribed already. Thank you so much to everyone in the chat. I know you're already subscribed. But there'll be loads that perhaps don't realize they're not subscribed and maybe would like to make this a habit on Sunday mornings. If you want to watch me every Sunday morning, hit that notification bell when you subscribe. And yeah, this is my favorite stream of the week, genuinely. So thank you guys for being with me. Headers in Madrid, yeah, with Trent, maybe. Maybe it is. So look, we've spoken about Liverpool's average position. By the way, Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo both played quite well, I think. But Jota, when fit, will come back into that team. Slot has been quoted saying he's like a 9.5. And I think that's how he wants to play, like with a 9.5 up there. And Gakpo on the left, I tell you what, you wouldn't have thought this in the first month of the season that Luis Diaz would be out the team. Luis Diaz can't get in the 11. Luis Diaz is not first choice anymore. If you own him, definitely sell. Gakpo, a goal yesterday, but also scored twice against Brighton in the week, playing from this position. In the week, we saw Salah rested, and it was Diaz who played on the right. Now, that was telling, because Gakpo and Diaz both could have played on the right-hand side, but who got their preferred position on the left? Gakpo did. One to monitor. He's a brilliant differential option. I called that out yesterday. I was genuinely close to buying Gakpo or Darwin. For Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Boy, I wish I'd done that. Oh, training. Jackson's got his armband on Jackson today. Salah is the only one of the front 3 completely nailed. Yeah, I would say Gakpo's... Yeah, and yeah, I'd say Jota, when fit, is nailed, to be fair, for Premier League. Look at Jota's minutes in the Premier League when he's been fit. He's pretty much started all games but one, I think. So there we go. We've done... Liverpool, we have to touch on Brighton because look who's playing for Brighton on the right wing. Guys, ding, 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 ding. We have an out of position. We have an out of position player here that we're sleeping on. And I called this out last week. Kaddogo, this is the beauty of looking at average position maps every Sunday. Kaddogo is playing as a right winger. Now, he is, of course, listed as a defender. Okay. He is by trade a right back, but he's played a ton of minutes left back in Turkey. They paid like 25, 30 million for this kid, by the way. Kaddogo is highly regarded. Now, don't just look at him because he scored the goal yesterday. We're looking at him because of his average position and the fact he started. He started, I think, 4 of the last 5 games, maybe even 5 of the last. He played 45 minutes in game week 7. I don't know if that was coming off at half time or not. But he's playing on the right wing a ton. Now, he has had minutes in his previous. If you go on his transfer market history, it will show you left back, right back, left wing, right wing, centre mid. He's played a ton of minutes in all those positions. He is a utility man. But if he's seen by Herzer as a right winger and he's a 4.5 defender, then we like him very much because he'll get the clean sheet points as well as some goal threat. Now, he plays Man City next, but then the fixtures turn and it is a sea of green until the 27th of December, where he plays Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham, Leicester, Palace, West Ham, Brentford. Guys, Brighton should be on our Christmas list. Brighton should be on our Christmas list. I'm not saying it has to be Kaddogo because you've got to think if he's seen as the right winger, there's a lot of competition there because Minter could be back soon. We know Adingra is popular. Like Adingra only got 3 minutes yesterday, but Adingra can come on easily, start football matches. And at some point, Solly March will be back in the mix. Like Solly March has returned to training. So he's risky. What I want to see is if Kaddogo isn't first choice right winger, does he start at right back instead of Veltman? I want to know that he's nailed Kaddogo. And I'm very happy punting him in, knowing half the time I'll get him on the right wing and half the time I'll get him at right or left back. What I'd say, by the way, the Salah goal, Estupinan, is shocking. You know what he's going to do. He's going to turn on his left foot and curl one far post. And Estupinan just shows him the path. Honestly, it was poor from Estupinan. And I do wonder if Estupinan is nailed at left back. Like, he started the last couple of games and we know he's a threat going forward, but defensively, I think he's often quite poor. And someone like Veltman and Kaddogo can both play left back too. So let's see. Let's see for minutes. Fair point from Oculus. Like, we've got good 4.5 million options. Like, we can look at the Palace lads, like Aina. I prefer the centre-backs at Palace, despite their Nori, we like. Lewis Hall, we like very much at 4.3. Kaddogo and Kirkes. Like, is there an argument to say you don't need to be spending big money on Trent and Gabriel? Sure there is. Sure there is. Look at Manning's position map, says FPL Freddie. Yeah, but I mean, all these guys, Freddie, Kirkes, Nori, Aina Hall, we might get some clean sheets. I know Manning kept a clean sheet yesterday. I don't think we're going to get many Southampton clean sheets. So I can't promote a 4.3 Southampton defender, I don't think. Estupinan and Salah in his team. Morning, G. Can you recommend any upgrades on McNeil? So you got around 5.4, 6. We got about 7 million spent. Dan, wait until today's fixtures, but genuinely keep your eyes on Pedro Neto for Chelsea. Pedro Neto will start today for Chelsea, almost certainly, because Sancho can't play against Man United. Sancho can't play against his parent club. But he would have started anyway because he scored last time out and looked great on the left-hand side. Pedro Neto 6.2. Chelsea fixtures are quite good. Keep your eyes on him. And then, honestly, I like Matoma. I've got him on screen here. But after the Man City game, Matoma's fixtures are really nice. I've just read out about Brighton's fixtures. Matoma cost 6.5 million. And after City, it's a great run of fixtures. He also, out of all those attacking Brighton players, he's the only one that starts every game. Like, I think Matoma has only not started once this season. That was game week 8. Yeah, I'm just looking now. He pretty much plays 85 to 90 minutes every game. He comes off most games. He plays 88, 89, 84, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 30, 88, 86. He always plays. And that 30 was probably because it was back off the international break. Semenyo's around 5.7 off the top of my head. But honestly, Matoma's a great pick. What Matoma's underlying is like, by the way, in terms of XGI? Yeah, not bad. His average XGI is about 0.3, but he's had some tough fixtures. Like he's played Chelsea, Spurs, Newcastle, Wolves, Liverpool in the last 5, and he's got Man City after that. It's a good fixture run for him. It's a good fixture run. So look, we're going through game by game. We've still got a couple more games to get through. And I want to answer your questions. Hello to all 900 of you in the chat. That is awesome for a Sunday morning, guys. Thank you for joining. Let's get to this one. I like the Wolves Palace game very, very much. It was fun. It was fun and it was entertaining, and it started slow. That first half an hour, you're like, Saturday night football, brilliant. This is rubbish. And then springs into life. And Crystal Palace racking up the XG around half time. Wolves get back into it. And then again, late on in the game, it's all Palace. We've got to talk about Strand Larsen and Cunha because they've been popular. We've got to talk about Aït-Nouri. But also, Crystal Palace have found a bit of form. On another day, Palace win that football match. And you go, oh, Palace just beat Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup. Don't forget that, by the way. Aston Villa put out a couple of their sort of fringe players, but very good players. And it was away from home for Palace. Eze got injured. And they looked really good. Crystal Palace just beat Aston Villa. We saw them beat Spurs in game week 9. And then in game week 10, they've drawn against Wolves. Crystal Palace aren't bad. They're finding some form. And now without Eze. Ismail Sarr is starting games. He's 5.7 million. They've got Fulham up next. They've got 2 homes in the next 3. And Mateta is also starting football matches, guys. And that is important. Mateta is now, the last 2 games, played 90 minutes. And I think that matters because we know what Mateta can do under Glasner. We saw it last season. End of last season, how good was Mateta? He was really impressive. And we all wanted him. We all had him in our FPL teams. Now, in the week, I'm just seeing if Mateta started. He did. Mateta started in that Aston Villa win. Didn't get the goal. Eze and Kamada got the goals. But Mateta yesterday, we saw he got 2 points, but that late goal ruled out. I think he was hard done by. I think Palace should have had that goal. And on another day, we're looking at Mateta going, oh, he's had a 8 to 10 pointer. And maybe we're looking to buy him. Fulham at home, Villa away, Newcastle at home, Ipswich away are the next 4. Honestly, could be a bit. He's a tad expensive. You don't really want to spend 7.3 million on a Crystal Palace player, but he's starting games. And Nketiah started out on the left, by the way. I'll show you the positions here. And what I love about Palace is you get the fullback opportunity with wing backs. Very few teams. We just looked at Wolves, like under Nuno, they don't play with wing backs as Nuno used to set up at Wolves. Sorry, we looked at Forest. Very few teams have a back 3. So because it's a back 3, we get Munoz and we get Mitchell. Mitchell and Munoz as wing-back options are fun. We need some more clean sheets. We did see it under Glasner at the end of last season. Whether or not we that continues. You missed an open goal. Yeah, look, Mateta's an option. And the front 3 dynamic of Nketiah one side, Sarr the other, it's all right in Eze's absence. Eze will be back. I expect Eze is going to be back after the international break. I think he's going to miss a couple of weeks. And then you think maybe Nketiah or Sarr come out the team. But if Mateta's the number 9 over Nketiah, then we can definitely go there. We can definitely go there and spend the money. Will Hughes had a great game in the middle of the park, by the way. I really, really like Will Hughes. So look, Palace Wolves, fun. Cunha is still a bite. By the way, talking of back 5s, Wolves matched them up. Aït-Nouri played as a wing back. Aït-Nouri and Semenyo. Strand Larsen, good. Cunha looked good. What I would say about Cunha yesterday is he racks up the bonus points, and we saw him get a bonus yesterday. Now, we might not have expected a bonus in a 2-2 game where he only got 1 assist. But he got a bonus because he is on corners. He's on free kicks. He dribbles. He shoots. He's creative. He is the main man, and he's on penalties, by the way, when they get them, we think, unless Sarabia's on the pitch, it could be Sarabia or Cunha. Now, Sarabia did get a start yesterday, got an hour, and we've got to think that theme probably continues for Sarabia. So Cunha might not have penalties. Strand Larsen, 0.69 XGI yesterday. Cunha, 0.29 XGA yesterday. Maybe Strand Larsen's, you're saving $1 million. If money's tight, I think both are good options because the fixtures are there for Wolves. And it has to be noted, they play Southampton at home next. You've got to expect points. They also then play Fulham away, Bournemouth at home, Everton away, West Ham away, Ipswich at home, Leicester away. It's an amazing fixture run. It's an amazing fixture run for Wolves. Do you go Cunha or do you go Strand Larsen? That will be the big debate if you don't already own one. And genuinely, I think I'll be going to one of them. I think I have to. We have the wrong Norwegian striker. Yeah. Strand Larsen, impressive. So let's see how we get there. Strand Larsen was awesome. What we saw when Strand Larsen first came in, it was well documented. He wasn't fit enough to play 90. And every time he played, we saw an early sub. Last couple of games, in fact, 3 of the last 4, he's played 90. He can now do it. And he comes with a high reputation. Not really any midfield options for Wolves, has to be said. Although, look, maybe Sarabia is an option, 5.1. No, Sarabia is now fit. Gomez played well yesterday, by the way. João Gomez is very, very good. But yeah, I don't think he's much of an FPL pick. Not for me anyway. So look, there we have it with Wolves. Guys, I want to answer your questions. So we'll get some questions in. Before we do, are you playing the Champions League pick'em game, guys? I hope you are. But what I want to do is just check that that we have. Just going to put my Wi-Fi on my phone. Got no 4G in the house. Guys, the Champions League pick'em game is loads of fun, right? You can last Champions League round, Sleeper decided to give away $5,000 worth or pounds, I can't remember, worth of prizes. That is outrageous. Loads of PS5s. They are giving away so much this season. Oh, John says he's playing and he's joined. Love to hear that. Did the QR code work for you on screen? So I'm just going to scan it now, and it should take you straight away to a Champions League prize pool where you enter and you put your predictions in. Guys, my big one is, who's going to win out of Sporting Lisbon and Real Madrid? Get your guesses in the chat now. On Tuesday night, Haaland and co. go to the new Man United manager's home. Yeah, they get to Lisbon to play Ruben Amorim's Sporting Lisbon. You should be able to join. Sorry, there was an error. Hang on. Let me know if the QR code works. If not, there is a link in the description if it doesn't. Link in the description. It does say for me, it just said error, but maybe that's weird. If it doesn't work, follow the link in the description and get through to the Champions League pick'em pool and win big prizes. Join last week, says John. Yeah. So yeah, give us your predictions. I think Sporting might win. Yeah. Maybe. Sporting win 2-1. Honestly, real chance. Real chance. I love the fact that Sporting Lisbon have said, Amorim, you can go. And yeah, we're getting some money. I think it's 10 million and the extra for the coaching staff. Did you just join now on the QR code, Matt? Let me know. And did it work? You can go, but we need you in place for the next couple of fixtures. Because Man City in the Champions League is huge. And by the way, Sporting have had a great start. Oh, Aaron's become a channel member. Thank you, Aaron. Welcome to the crew. Aaron has joined the squad. With that, Aaron, you'll get extra content in terms of, I do a video or 2 a week for members. But also, most importantly, I see my channel members and I bring up all your comments. So you'll really be a massive part for the chat. Every time I'm live. And obviously, if you've ever got a question about FPL, drop a comment in any of my videos and I respond to all channel members' questions. So thank you, Aaron, for becoming a squad tier member. Oh, Matt says he used a link, not the QR code. Right, so maybe the QR code's funny. What it was I made the QR code and I made it tiny. And maybe that was something. But yeah, as long as the link below works, we're happy. So use the link in the description. Good stuff. Work for Gucci. Welcome, Aaron. I just joined and it worked. Oh, good. Oh, QR code worked for some. Great. Oh, maybe because I'm already in it. Whatever. Yeah, I'm just not good at tech, am I? But that's great. It's joining and it's working. Guys, If one of you wins the PS5, let me know. As we go through the Champions League games in the week, there are some difficult ones to predict. I also have a Premier League pick and pull where I'm giving away prizes every week, £100 voucher a week. But go for the Champions League one this week and every week, because they're giving 5,000 either dollars or pounds worth of prizes every single week. So yeah, good luck. Matt doesn't know how to scan the card code. You have to do it on your camera. You get your camera out, like just camera on iPhone. Hello, it's me. And then you do that, and it sort of links over the word, and then you click. But it says error for me, but I don't know why. Maybe because I'm in. Yeah, Premier League picking this week is crazy. Yeah. Guys, if you are just joining, we are here, and we have been here to review all the data so far from the game week. I have shown pass maps, XG plots, loads of cool stuff from the Fantasy Football Scout members area, loads going on. If you're just joining, go back and watch the last hour. I really hope you enjoy what we do on these Sunday mornings. Haaland dropped in price. Yeah. Oh, gee whiz. Do hit the like. How many likes are we on, gee whiz? Are we doing well? I tell you what, if you want to show your support for the channel, a like would be amazing, but also a subscribe would be amazing too. If you fancy hitting that subscribe button, that would be so appreciated. Because YouTube sees the amount of people that subscribe per show, and when that is high, they go, "Oh, I'm going to promote that in the algorithm." 297 likes. There we go, guys. Can we get up to 350 by the end? Let's do some predictions, shall we? Predictions from the games coming up today. Let's go through Spurs Villa. Put your predictions in the chat, guys. There's going to be goals. I reckon this is a Desmond. I reckon this is a Desmond Tutu. 1-1, 2-2. Yes, you sell DCL. 2-1s either way. See, no one knows how to call this game. Oh, Solanke brace, please. Please. Gosh, do I need that? 3-4. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait for that. I'd love some Rodgers points as well. I've started Rodgers this week, guys. So, okay, we all see goals. Clearly, we all see goals. Okay, next up. Watkins hat-trick. Behave. That would hurt overall rank for non-owners. A lot still have Brennan Johnson, by the way. And you've been a bit unlucky if you bought Brennan Johnson a few weeks ago because he was flying. Okay, we all think goals. I'm so hyped for Super Sunday. This is two brilliant games. Oh, Maliki, that is so kind of you. Hit the subscribe button for the best FPL content creator on YouTube. Mate, that is too kind. And I'm having a hard time this week because, I mean, when you look at my decisions in the last 2 weeks, I have triple captained Haaland last week for monstrous XG and rubbish output. And then I captained Haaland this week for, again, big XG. And that goal at the end, if he scores in the last minute, that's not a 4-point goal. He gets bonus points. So let's say that's a 6-point goal and he gets 2 bonus and he's my captain. That's 12 points. But then who gets the assist for that? Who put the cross in? Phil Foden. I also own Phil Foden, who keeps blanking but setting up Haaland for these misses. So that's 15 points because Foden's assist is 3. So Haaland having that ball cleared off the line / hit in the post in the last minute, that inches 15 points. It's huge. The swings, the variance is massive, and it's frustrating. But it is just a game. It is just a game, and I have to remember that. Honestly, I was like, I woke up in the night, and I genuinely, it was on my mind, and I was like, I worked it out. I was like, how many points did that miss cost me? And I worked out it's 15. I was like, sort your life out, Johnny. That's not what's important. Life's important. The people around me. Chatting to you guys is more important than my FPL score. Chatting to you lot on a Sunday morning, I enjoy that. I'm going to spend a day with my wife and daughter. That's important. Like, it's just a game. And you have to remember that. And even when it's your job and your rank matters, I still have to remember that. Do you know what? This is more my job talking about the football, right? Hopefully my rank is less relevant and actually I can provide you with some good info. But it does feel like a bit of a write-off for me this season. I'm not going to lie. And it is annoying. Let's go to Man United then. Son hat-trick, maybe. Thanks, Dan. Sonny hat-trick. If he looks really good today, I might bring Son in for the Ipswich game. I own Phil Foden, who I'm willing to sell to either Bruno or Son, probably most likely. So come on then, let's have a look. Let's have a look at Man United Chelsea, because I reckon the fat lady ain't singing yet. G, it's not Chai, but when I look at, and thank you for that, Chai, but when I look at the last 2 weeks, I am very much violin out because the variance and the swings of 9 and 10 for Haaland captainers, and it's not just Haaland captainers. Very few triple captain Haaland and then captain Haaland and have Foden. It's the fact I've got Foden as well. Like that Foden spot for me is where other people are getting points from. Okay, Salah's extreme because it's 3-4 million difference, but it's that premium midfield spot. And Foden is setting up Haaland every single time. And I've not even had an assist. But yeah, mate, thank you. You're right. Me and Chai will be chatting later on Scout. Chai, let me know what time we're doing. Are we doing 6:30? That'd be grand if we are. That'd be grand. Listen to me. I sound Irish. That'd be grand. I don't even know if Chai says grand, but it is an Irish thing. Chelsea 3-1. Yes, please, Rowena. I'm going to go 4-1 Chelsea. Gucci. You'll be in bed, won't you? Or was it early morning for you in Australia, that one? No, it'll be too late. I'm going to go. Do you know what? United score. I'm going to go 1-2. I do think Chelsea will win. Cole Palmer against his boyhood club. That's the narrative I'm here for. How many captain Cole Palmer, by the way? Any of you guys captain Cole Palmer? Let me know if you captain Cole Palmer. You've tried sharing my channel. Thanks, Matt. Word of mouth is always an important way of advertising, I guess. I captain Palmer. Yes, Rowena. Well played. A lot are going with 1-2. Boring 0-0. Sammy, that is not going to be a 0-0. Man United don't do 0-0s. And I don't think Maresca's Chelsea do 0-0s either, mate. If it's 0-0, I'll eat my hat. I said it. Fulham Brentford on Monday night. Come on then. No, Man United's his boyhood club. He played for the City Academy. He's a Man United fan. Guys, Fulham Brentford. Also, honestly, that could be a goal fest. That's a great fixture. Johan Visser, who I've been tipping all week, is going to bloody score, isn't he? Jimenez, who's been popular, could easily get a goal. And Burmo, yeah, we like it. 2-2s. I'm just going 2-2 so I can say Desmond. I think it'll be a Desmond. 3-3. Monday Night Football's going to be fun. Gucci's gone 2-3. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Guys, thank you so much for hitting the like button, by the way. I think we got over 300, didn't we? That's wicked. Yeah, okay. Visser Brace. Maybe, Matt. Maybe. So, guys, if you have just joined, go back and watch the last hour because we have run through every game. We've looked at some scout members over and under achievers. We looked at shots, we looked at creative numbers, and then we went through game by game with XG plots, and we do this every Sunday morning. But looking at who's playing and who's playing where, is Kaddogo an out of position 4.5 option at Brighton, for example? We look at why there was underachieving and why there was overachieving, and we break it down game by game. Forest defense, guys, if you're shopping, regardless even of fixtures, get a Forest defender or Matt Sales. Like Matt Sales has been one of the few shining lights in my team. Salah, obviously really dangerous. Brighton are always interesting. We looked at Wolves Palace. That was a fun one. So we've gone through game by game, and that's what we do here on these Sunday streams. It's loads of fun, and I hope you're here for it every Sunday morning. Shout out to all of our channel members that are in the chat, and shout out to our mods as well, like GWiz. See the spanner by his name. Thank you, GWiz, for always being our mod on a Sunday morning. It's lovely to have you in the chat. Thank you for everyone this morning that has hit that subscribe button as well. I'm going to say my goodbyes, and I will see you next Sunday morning for another show. But I will have another video of my early thoughts on my team out tomorrow morning. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a morning drop with my early thoughts video. On your way out, do me one thing today if you fancy and hit that subscribe button. That'd mean a lot. And I will see you for another show with a bit of a mind dump tomorrow morning on where I'm going with my team, because boy, do I need some surgery. See you later, team. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.